Okay, welcome PBHS students. We're going to start new GeoGebra Math app. We're going to study special right triangles by constructing the first 6 radical numbers, radical 1 through radical 6. Graphing calculator. Okay, we don't need the graphing calculator portion. We actually don't need the X and Y axis for this. We're going to create a segment with a specific length, given length. We're going to place it somewhere in the middle. Our length is going to be 2. So now, make sure we go to the Move menu so that we don't create another segment with given length. I'm going to expand this a little. I'm going to move it to the center. And so here, compass tool, we're going to create a circle with diameter, with radius AB. We're going to place the center on point B. We're going to stay in the compass mode and create another circle with radius AB and place it in center A. Now we're going to use our intersect tool to create 2 intersections, here and here. Use the line tool to create a line straight down the middle. From here, I'm going to use the intersection tool to create the intersection in the center. Okay, now we're going to create our first polygon. That would be this polygon here. Okay, and let's check this distance. Go to our distance tool, distance or length tool, and click on the hypotenuse of this right triangle, and we notice that this distance is 2. And remember from our construction by compass and straight edge in class, we know this distance here is square root of 3. So we're going to, let's select this line down the middle. Let's not view it for a second. And go to our distance for length. And we're going to choose a distance on the long side, and hopefully it'll give us a distance on the short side. Well, the distance on the short side is 1, so we won't worry about that. Okay, now we're going to turn the line back on. Okay, let's use our compass tool again. So there's our 30, 60, 90 triangle. We're going to have create a circle with radius AE, place it in the center. And now we're going to construct our 45, 45 degree, 90 degree triangle using the intersect tool to create the intersection we need. And we've already created the square root of 1, square root of 3. Now we're going to create the square root of 2 radical number, or construct. So let's construct this polygon so that we construct the square root of 2. And you can only see it in decimal form, but that's okay. Let's see the distance for our radical 2. Okay, 1.41, which we verified in class. So let's move that here. Okay, and now let's make square root of 5 and square root of 6. So we need use our compass tool again. We're going to make a circle with radius 2, and we're going to place it in the center. we're interested in this intersection point down below here. Okay. Now we can create polygon E. Oops. Okay, something happened. No polygon E B D. Oh no, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Let's undo that. Remember, what we want to do is create a polygon with the long side is 2, so that's point G. And we discovered that the Pythagorean theorem will give us square root of 5 on the hypotenuse. Okay? But we've calculated that the hypotenuse would be square root of 5. Okay? So now, if we have a square root of 5 long leg, then we should get square root of 6 as the hypotenuse. So let's go ahead and use our compass tool again. Compass tool, we're going to choose line segment BG, which we calculated to be square root of 5, and we'll place that in the center. And now we're interested in this intersection point up above here. Okay, now let's create a polygon where our hypotenuse is square root of 6, and we'll measure the distance using our distance measurement tool in a few seconds. Okay, so now let's measure the distance on both hypotenuses. So distance or length. This is the distance we're concerned about. This, if we calculate that to be square root of 6, and we can verify that, 2.45. And here is square root of 5, 2.24. So, summarize. Let's just adjust these a little so we can see them clearly. Okay, and we're going to change the color. Let's color code this. So we'll do our square root of, so our square root of 1 is the base here. The base of our first triangle. Short side of our first triangle is 1, or square root of 1. So let's select that and make that our favorite color, green. And then we'll go select this hypotenuse here, square root of 2, or 1.41. Make that our second favorite color, blue. And opacity to 35. Opacity to, let's say, 35 about. 45, 35, okay. Let's select our, so square root of 4 is 2, right? So we have 2 here is the hypotenuse of our original first triangle, 3690. So that's square root of 4. Square root of 5 is this, the hypotenuse of this third triangle that we've constructed. We'll make that our third favorite color, and 35, about 35 is the opacity. And finally, so we have square root of 1, square root of 2, square root of 3, which is 1.73, square root of 4, which is 2, square root of 5, which is 2.24, and then finally square root of 6. And we'll color code that our fourth favorite color, which is, I don't know, purple. 35. Okay, expand this a little so we can view it clearly. Okay, and let's change this here. So if we're just looking at the construction of radical numbers. So if you say, well, what does a radical number look like besides, just writing it down on a piece of paper? Well, geometrically, it looks like the hypotenuse of a right triangle. Okay, thank you, PVHS, for listening. And we're going to save this as radical number construction. Radical number construction. And public. Remember, always public. We love to share our work at PVHS. Save.